So I'm going to get us started. It is 5:37. Call the meeting to order. And as usual, I'll read the language for Zoom meetings pursuant to Chapter 2 of Acts of 2023. This meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to watch or listen to the meeting may do so in the following manner. Video conference. Login information was provided. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so despite best efforts, we will post on the Topsfield website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. And with that, the next item is the approval for minutes. So I wanted to thank Silly because somehow she magically created minutes after the meeting. So thank you for doing that. So we have the January 26 minutes. Did anyone have any changes or comments to that, or can we just approve them?
Fine.
Fine, okay. So I'll make the motion to make it easier. I make a motion to vote to approve the ECDC minutes from January 26, 2026.
Approved.
Second? I need a second.
Second.
Leslie?
Oh, Leslie.
Michelle, can you remind me if I wasn't at that meeting, am I allowed to vote on those minutes?
I think technically you can vote on them if you read them and there was video. He's hitting
I
me.
just punched Michelle.
But do we have it? There's enough of us that if you wanted to abstain, that's fine. Right? Because
Okay.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
Okay.
So I'll do roll call. Tom Capano,
Aye.
Zilly Bouchou,
Aye.
Leslie Voss,
Aye.
and Michelle Mercier-Link. I'm an I, and Kevin Haratunian.
Hi.
And then Sarah, I'll say you abstained.
Abstain, correct.
Perfect. All right. Sorry, I'm just checking on Jake and Tom. So I don't know what happened to Jake. So the first item we have on here, excuse me, is the April 2nd business social, which, by the way, I had a nightmare about last night that we didn't finish our planning and we just showed up. So I can assure you we'll be much more prepared than my dream last night. But I was thinking that we're not too far out from it. So it's April 2nd. And what is that? Just a little over 2 weeks away. And Zilly and I and Tom have been meeting on a regular basis just to go through and plan that. So I was going to give you a couple of stats so far. So we had evites that were sent out. We sent that out to 66 email addresses. 34 people have said yes so far for that. And then Tom and his daughter delivered 52 hard copies that we had created that Sam was able to print out on cardstock here. And those were businesses that Tom, on his walk with his dog every day, he just wrote down some additional businesses around town that we don't have email addresses for. So we are really creating this nice central location eventually with all the list of businesses. So he went and dropped off 52 invites. So
Wow.
that gets us to a total of 118. The max in the hall upstairs is 200, so we've got some cushion. So that's the first thing. That's just about attendees. The second thing I just wanted to mention, and we're just trying to make this perfectly clear and transparent. I did reach out to Brig and Paul. So Brig from Marble Ridge and Paul from Alfalfa Farm to see if they would be willing to provide any alcohol for the night. And they both agreed to do so. We don't need a liquor license for the Great Hall if we're not selling it, which we're not selling. We're not selling the alcohol, so we're safe there. But I'm just making sure I mention it here, and I'm going to mention it in the select board meeting tonight that we will have alcohol at this event, but no liquor license was required because we're not selling the alcohol. What else? Silly, what am I missing?
I have a question.
Yes.
I heard that the public hall was having some issues. Are those resolved? Will they be resolved by then?
Yes. They have
Okay.
been resolved for the issue, where there are two ceiling tiles that fell down, those got fixed, and they'll make sure that there's not going to be an issue for April 2nd.
Okay.
Yes, that might have been part of the driver for my nightmare, but yes, we should be fine. The expectation is we will be fine for April 2nd.
Okay.
Yes, that was a little alarming.
Yeah.
Do we have a backup plan? Do we need a backup plan?
I don't think we need a backup plan.
Okay.
I asked today, we're perfectly fine with the hall, and the answer was yes.
Okay.
Right now, we're at about half, like 50% RSVPs, yes. And then the most of the rest are just non-replies. There's only 3 actual no's, 34 yeses, 29's no reply, and that's not including the ones that Tom did.
Is there a reply for or how will we collect replies for the hard copy invitations?
Yeah, so you can either reach out to Zilly or me, or and that's on the invite. Yeah, on the invite. And then Tom had mentioned that someone had called him directly, and I just wanted to ask him in
Yeah.
tonight's meeting if he calls in, why that, which is fine, but he may have written his number down too. I'm not positive. But they have ways to get back to us.
Yeah. I have one that emailed me, and so I actually put them into the Evite as a yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, good.
So I just did that today, like figured out I could do that. So I think Michelle and Tom, I'll just ask them to tell me when they get RSVPs so I can put them in so we have them all in one place.
Yeah, I haven't
Um,
gotten it yet,
And
unfortunately.
the only other thing I would say, Michelle, is if you want to fill them in on our idea with the nonprofit. Did you already say that?
No,
But-
I didn't. I didn't. Yeah, for each of the and Zilly, certainly add in, because this is really was your idea. But for each of the business socials, we try to come up with, I'll say, a general theme or something extra we want to do beyond just having the business get together and talk with each other. So the theme for this one, or the extra, is reaching out to some of the local nonprofits that we have within town to see if they'd be interested to come to the business social for 2 things. One is to kind of talk a little bit about what they do, what their purpose is. And then the second piece is to see if there's any way that they can potentially collaborate with a local business as well. So that might be some opportunities for both sides, the businesses and the local nonprofits, to collaborate on something. So credit goes to Zilly for that idea, and we all liked it. So I did send out an email, which Sarah, I think you got one as part of TCP. I have not heard back from anyone yet, so I was going to send out a follow-up email just looking to see if anyone is interested in a reminder to respond back.
Can I say
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Zilly, what about reaching out to Gail at Community House, because they sort of are they're nonprofit, and they do have the location where Creative Co-op is. Maybe send
That's a
them
good
in.
idea. Yeah, Noelle is on it.
Oh, that's right. Should be the good one for that.
And she's coming, but we can ask her to make sure that, because I don't think I have a distinct contact for.
Oh, but will
Community
Noelle,
House.
she'll represent Community House?
I can ask her. I think I had her as Creative Co-op on the Evite. She
Yeah.
offered to bring something too, so.
Maybe ask, or I can maybe ask her.
Oh, she says Creative Co-op stage 284, and stage 284 is.
Oh, that's that. But then there's Community House, which is in Hamilton, but they have the lease on that building, so, and they're a nonprofit. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
if
right
you want
there.
to ask them too, and then we can,
Okay.
between the 2 of us,
Okay.
cover them.
All right. Perfect.
And as far as the nonprofits, I would also just add, then we were like, oh gosh, this could get really too much because there's a lot. Like if we get into like Friends of the Library, Friends of Council
Oh,
Meeting, all
right,
the different
right,
things,
right,
PTOs.
Right.
So for this one, we just picked, I think it was, did we land on 3 or 4? I don't have that note in front of me.
Yeah, I'm looking for it too, but I think you're right. 3 or 4 of them.
All right.
and
So
we-
I can skip. We can skip Community House. It's okay. No big deal. I didn't know that.
Well, Yeah, no, I'm just sharing it now, like I was going to share this anyway. And we kind of picked ones that have specific things going on that relate to the use of downtown
Okay.
so that they can kind of have that interface. So it's Tri-Town Council, um, Community Partnership, Human Rights Coalition, and was there a fourth? Did we decide on COA maybe?
Oh, I
I
did send
forget.
it to COA. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Our thought was that they're kind of active already in the downtown.
It's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then if it goes well, we can see about in the future if we want to expand it, like if the PTO does that Halloween thing again next year, we could invite them to one,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of.
That's
Or
awesome.
if the playground / Friends of Recreation does something, so
Yep.
it's just a way of not having it be overwhelming and
That's
getting
awesome. Yep.
people
Perfect.
together.
I'm here. Sorry I'm late. My video, something's up with my video. So
It
sorry
must
about
be the
that.
night for that. I had an issue with my video too. And just to add to what one other thing, Zilly, which I'm going to lose my train of thought. Oh, yes. So going back to your question, Tom Capano. So just like the business social where we kind of started here and then we've been expanding it.
Yeah.
Since this was kind of a new idea, we figured, all right, we'll do the same thing. Start with a few local
Oh,
nonprofits
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it works out.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that maybe, some partnerships would develop from that meeting.
Absolutely.
All right. That's all I had for the business social. Do you guys have any questions on the business social? Anything else? Oh, actually, one other thing. So you may have seen it. I think Zilly sent out an update. If anyone's interested in helping out with, because the food that's been provided has been either from Tom or myself or Zilly coming out of our own personal budgets. So, but if anyone wants to contribute anything, just let us know. We did reach out to the businesses to see if anyone else wanted to contribute. We had the start time at 7 p.m. so that people don't think they're coming to get like a full meal. So more like snacks. But if anyone's interested in helping out with food, that would be great. Just let us know. And then with that, I am going to turn it over to Kevin, who is running around here. And he's going to give us a lot of great updates that we've been talking about.
Hi, everybody. It's
Hi,
been
Kevin.
a little while. It's good to see everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, sorry. It is like our incredibly busy time of the year. Everything hits in March, and then it's the final sprint to town meeting, right? So, appreciate all you making the time, because beyond the nuts and bolts of the annual town meeting, we also have a lot of really good things going on around economic development. And so, glad to be able to make a couple updates for everybody. So, 10 School Ave. That's the project we've been working on for many, many years. Continues to progress through the process of getting permitting. It's very close. Design's pretty much fully done. It is in front of in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit for event and conference center. And then in addition to that, it is in front of conservation. Planning's punted it to ZBA, so they don't need to make any stormwater permits because, well, I shouldn't say Concom / ZBA for their site plan and for the stormwater because both those departments are covered. It would be duplicative if they did in a way. So Board of Health signed off on everything. Waiting for the last permits to be issued from Concom. They were going to vote last week, but it got delayed, so it's probably looking like next month. But we're trying to do a special meeting to shorten the timelines for it so we can get it going. And ZBA at the beginning of next month, the first week of next month, hopefully they get that permit there too. And once they have that, they should be submitting their building permits to the building department, and we'll be issuing them a permit as soon as we close on the property. So they'll be submitting those permits, and then at the same time, we'll get closing docs and sell the property, and they'll be off and running. And then we'll be 12 to 18 months away from cutting a ribbon and being able to have dinner or lunch and have a drink of some sort, Coca-Cola,
Water.
other Diet Coke. But it's incredible. We're very grateful that all the work from so many people to see the finish line in our sights. We just got to make sure we stay super focused in the last few weeks and getting all the last items buttoned up. Grateful for the team that's been working. They've been great to work with, Tim and Brig and their design team. Nothing but professional. They continue to move forward with us, which is fantastic.
Kevin, can I ask you one quick question?
Of course.
So the building is going to be torn down, correct?
Yes, they looked at restoring
Yeah,
the building,
is
but
there-
it was possible.
Is there anything in there that we should save or you? I mean, I'm just curious. Is there anything in there that we should save or use, or is it up to the owner of the building to decide that? Or
So we have to deliver it broom swept, and so we have to empty the building. There's
Okay.
a lot of years of product still there.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a day or 2 or 3 of DPW, probably myself, on a weekend or something, going down there with some work gloves and purging. And then once that's done, we'll get to the closing table. But yeah, that's the next step will be and we've started having conversations. Right now we have our trash bins, carts, recycling and trash carts that are being held there. We'll have to move those probably to the cemetery. We have some training materials for the fire department that's being stored there, the fire department boats, some other training materials, light towers. Those will have to probably go outside for a very brief period of time, until at town meeting we can appropriate funds to buy a garage or have one donated. We have a resident in town who's been talking with us about that, which would be great, and we appreciate the support. But yeah, so Tom, to answer the question, everything has to go out of there. Anything that's usable, we'll keep, like the fire stuff I mentioned. Up in the top area, there was a fire damage years ago. Up in that area in the crawl space, there's a bunch of like indoor hockey sticks. We're probably not going to keep those. They look like they're from 1985.
so you can make
Plus
a
or
curtain
minus.
rod. You can make a curtain rod out of that.
If anybody can find a use, it's yours. You can have them.
If I see you there and I see a piece of wood, I might want to make a birdhouse. Am I welcome to take that if I ask someone?
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
All right.
As long
All right,
as it's not structural and
Move
it's not
on
going to fall.
to-
Have the
all right.
building fall down.
Move on to the next agenda. You answered. Thank you.
I'm gonna write this
I have
down.
a question. How much did they end up paying for that property?
So the purchase price was $25,000, but we're going to be seeing for the first time real estate taxes. The new growth on that is going to be significant, 5, possibly 6 figures, and we get permit fees that'll be significant as well, tens of thousands of dollars. So there's also a donation to improve School Avenue with a sidewalk, solar lights, and a new curbing, which will be funded by the purchaser as well. So the physical purchase of the property is 25, but the improvements, you also get meals taxes on it as well. I should have mentioned that. But the ongoing recurring fees and taxes that'll come off the property, that plus the one-time fees that we'll receive for the building and the one-time improvements that will be made on School Ave, plus the obvious amenity that'll bring people to town to shop at Fresh Look Design or any of our downtown businesses, Leslie. That'll be incredibly important because I think what you'll see too is this is the only real opportunity for people who might be going to say the Topsfield Fair to find an alternative quality food and drink within walking distance of the fair. I know a lot of people, I don't know, this is being recorded, but some people do park downtown and walk down the rail trail. I might have brought our tunings that way once or twice.
There's no sign that says you can't.
There is none. But those are the people who they walk back and say, you know what, let's get something other than funnel cake for dinner tonight. And they might find their way in there. Or as they're doing that, they might find themselves into one of your storefronts, which would be great.
Can I just mention one more thing?
Yeah.
So 35R, the benefits from that too. So in addition to the old DPW building improvements and School Avenue improvements, if you're not aware, the property at 35R was also purchased by the team that's building out the restaurant. And they're going to be doing like walking paths. So this is going to be an area that the residents can go to and walk around the walking paths in nature, and there'll be rocks out there. And
Publicly available. So you don't have to be at the restaurant or the tavern or the bar or the event space or the market to enjoy that. You can come walking down, which will be, I think it's going to be a little bit of a runway coming off the downtown, like a little splinter off where people with the solar lights that match our existing ones and the planters, will obviously feel like a public space that you're walking down into this area. You can enjoy that that green space. Kind of like what we did in the Pocket Park. We put the granite seal in the middle of it because forever that was not a very welcoming space. It was very much private, stay out, barriers, right? And then we created this great space. We want to make sure people knew it was public. So we matched the signs to sort of mimic what we've done from a design programming. And then obviously that seal was paramount. So people know they're in a public space.
Trying to figure out where that space is. Is it behind Box Top Shop? Like,
Yes.
where are people going to access it?
It's beyond it, but behind it. So it's if you walk past the box top, there's the dumpster. It's basically that wooded area to the behind that.
And then you can walk from there to the rail trail? No.
No,
So it'll
no.
be a loop that takes you through. It's conservation land back there. We're working with Greenbelt that owns that conservation land, which is not accessible currently. It's landlocked. But now with that property that we obtain rights to, that we then sold to the purchaser, who is now making the additional improvements with a stone dust path that's going to allow people. So think of this: you go to the restaurant, there's a 20-minute wait, 30-minute wait. You might take family or whoever you're with and say, let's go for a little walk. And there's ideas that we've talked about, Tim and I, about the buyer, putting public art along the walkway. So
19 minutes.
Okay.
so there's so you can have rotational public art like we do in front of the library to make it interesting. So people might come down there and see all these really cool art. It just keeps such an awesome experience. Think Linfield, right? At the marketplace there. They've created an ice rink. They've created music. They've created, all those little things add up to an experience that makes people want to come out and enjoy it and check it out. And we want to keep people coming back, right? So they have to have a great first experience, and we have to keep it interesting and modify it slightly over time so people come back to see what's new. So that's the plan.
Plus, Kevin, some of those residents on Central Street abut that property, so we wouldn't want to encourage people to keep. I mean, there's no way that they'd want to walk all the way down that wooded area because
You get poison ivy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
There's enough of a buffer. I don't think anybody, unless they're really truly looking to go for a bushwhacking adventure.
Wet.
It's very wet.
Yeah.
People, I mean, you're gonna have to wear the boots up to your knees to probably make it without getting fully drenched.
All right, what else you got?
So then pivoting over to Alfalfa Farm. So Alfalfa Farm has been working closely with the town. They've been going through getting all their permits. And right now they have their liquor license from the town, which is super exciting. And last item, they've got their approval for stormwater from planning board a couple of weeks ago. So the last bit is to finish. They're looking for inspection for a temporary occupancy permit on one of the two buildings. One of them's a little bit further along than the other. That's the brewery building. The other one's going to be your lounge, liquor, and wine areas. The patio's close to completion. It's all kind of coming together. I was able to walk up there and around a couple weeks ago. It's looking great. So we're expecting weeks, not months, for with the liquor license and then the occupancy permit. They'll be able to open up the doors to the public, which is super exciting. Right in time as the snow stops falling, knock on wood. And as people are looking to get back outside and enjoying what's going on, it's a great space for people to enjoy. So excited for that. It's been a long haul. There's been some, a lot of process behind that one, but we got there, which is good. Appreciate the work Paul's done in the investment. Also, Pierce Farm. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there's been some significant improvements from Mike, the new buyer from a year ago. He applied for a liquor license before it was all catered. So we'd had these third-party people, not local, coming in, catering, and also providing the alcohol and realizing the benefits of that financially. Talk about, revenue growth, but also keeping it local. Mike's going to be he just received from ABCC his liquor license so that they can serve directly. I think it's safer, it's better, it keeps the money local. It helps support their business plan so they can be super sustainable and put the money back into the property. The property looks phenomenal. I don't know if anyone's been up there in the last 6 months or so, but he's done a really great job. I'm inspired to decorate my home if I ever can, the way he has for the main house. But it's looking really great. So we love seeing that investment. Mike's a great entrepreneur. He's been successful in a number of locations, and a partner of ours and a partner for the community that we want to make sure we keep maintaining and supporting their efforts.
Kevin, can I ask you one? What was it?
Of course, Tom. Yeah.
No, speaking of liquor license, did the state finalize the hard liquor license? So for Gill, do you know? If it's personal, don't discuss it. I was just
No,
curious.
no, 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 no. I smile because the town submitted after town meeting. The state sat on it for a number of
Yep.
months. The subcommittee, the legislature has to vote a bill out, basically. They finally submitted to us the language back in December, which was what, 8 months, 7 months from town meeting. It was completely different than what we voted. And so then we brought Lauren Goldberg in. Lauren started our KP Law lawyer. She started working with the state subcommittee and their lawyers, and it's been a negotiation and ever since. My understanding is that it's close and that they generally are understanding where we're coming from, because the problem is if what they gave back to us for the bill didn't tie to the home rule petition we submitted. We basically said they were going to give us 4 new licenses because we have 4 existing for beer and wine. They were looking to layer on top liquor. And which was passed unanimously at town meeting. They were looking to just give us 4 new licenses, which I said to them, I said, that's almost going to be impossible for these 2 because they're going to have to give back their licenses, reapply for these other licenses, get all their paperwork together, spend legal fees, the months it would take ABC to review it and kick it back. I said, just prove this thing, get these guys what they need. So it's been longer than we would have liked. I know the 2 businesses that would benefit from it. I get text messages and drop-ins very regularly. And we're communicating with them on that. It's just been a very frustrating process because the state unfortunately doesn't necessarily see the impacts when time goes by on these businesses, especially ones that their margins are tight. We'd love to see them find new revenue. That's the whole purpose behind this, was to give them the competitive leveling the playing field, right? If people are going in for beer or wine, sure, they might pop in, but if they have a wider selection with alcohol, people might drive to the Richdales in Wenham to pick up, or the former Richdales in Wenham to go pick up something that has more options.
Correct.
So we want to at least give our businesses, bring them up to the playing field, and this allows that to happen. It's just been taking so long, and I think everybody involved is frustrated at the local level, and I think hopefully the state can keep moving and move quickly to keep it going. And our state reps and our senator have been great. It's just they're at the mercy of the subcommittee members and their lawyers.
All right, thank you.
Great question. Appreciate that.
On a similar note, what's going on with Layla's? Because they didn't put a sign out saying what's going on. People are talking around town, all types of rumors are circulating. So, they hold a beer and wine license and they're supposed to be open according to the law. So what's going on?
So Leslie, your camera, you bought some new technology because you're moving in like awesome ways over there. I love it. It's like, yeah, look at that. The camera's like,
No, it's some AI
camera
thing
loves
that I
you.
clicked on by accident. I don't know.
camera loves you, Leslie. It's like going wherever you go. I love it. All right. So private business, not something, I'd let John speak for John on that. But I know that my understanding is that there was some building issues that was unexpected that it prevented him from being able to open up. It's not anything that the landlord did, nothing with the property owner. It was just an unfortunate circumstance, is my understanding. And I think he's working through that process now. I don't have a date when he's going to open. I know that he text messages me at least once a week asking where the liquor license is. So I know he's interested in at least that. I don't know what his long-term plan or even short-term plan at this point is, to be honest with you.
I think it behooves him to put a sign saying temporarily closed or something, because, just so people know that he exists. I mean, that's.
I talked to him personally about that. Michelle, should I just make a small statement about that situation that happened, or?
I think that's, if you'd like to, yeah, that's fine.
Not a big deal. Long story short, a customer was with her husband, was walking their dog in front of Layla's. It was a very icy day. The ice we've had this winter was really bad. The sign in the window of Layla's said open, has been said open ever since it was closed. The lady slipped, she fell, she hurt her nose. I don't know to what extent, but long story short, I decided to email Alex because I know his parents own the building. And I just said, Alex, I just want to let you know that this lady slipped and fell. I don't think anything is going to come about it. I said, but I think what would be helpful is if that sign, that red sign that's lit up says open, if that could be shut off. I said, because unfortunately it's kind of drawing people there. And with all the ice we've had this winter, this person fell, and especially at night, it's kind of hard. So Alex must have contacted John, and then John called me and I talked about it and we had a conversation. But long story short, I really encouraged him to shut that sign off that says open, and he did do that.
That's good.
And
That's good. And
I did say, John, you may want to send something out on the residents of Topsfield page and just say, you're going some personal things or business things or whatever, just to let the customers know and people know. I don't think he's going to do that. It wasn't a bad conversation, but I did encourage him to kind of do that, to communicate what was happening, but it's okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he could turn all the lights off,
Yeah.
like the
Yes.
rainbow lights and the flag.
He
so
did.
we
I know.
did contact him about the holiday lights. I'm gonna call them holiday lights because they went up around the holidays that still are up there. And that and the sign at Lux that was put up are the two where we're enforcing at the moment. Trying to make sure that the Lux sign was approved by the select board, looked significantly different than what they built. And so we've given them an ultimatum to either take it down or reapply for the
They
permit
did.
from the
They
select
took it
board.
down. It's been taken down.
They
Look,
took the sign down. They didn't take the
I
arch
know.
down. So we're waiting to find out if he's going to apply for the permit or take the rest of it down. My understanding is his intention is to ask for forgiveness and see if he can get a permit for that sign. It's the structure he built does not conform with other signs in the downtown. We'll just put it that point. So there really needs to be a consistency, and that's why there's an appeal process so that the board can make sure that anything beyond the sign bylaw is appropriate, right? And so that's why something needs to come back. So
I'm happy to hear that. Yay! Because
all right.
I think that's really important that we really are mindful of, the look that we want downtown that makes us attractive. And I noticed that sign right away, and it just and Layla's too has to apply for a permit, like even to have that blaring light of an American flag on the side that wasn't approved initially. That and so I'm
Yeah.
glad.
So we try to, when it comes to holiday lights, it's whether it's
Holiday light, yeah, turn off after the holidays.
yeah, that's just it. We give people grace until a certain point. We're
Yeah.
mid-March. It's like, all right, what are we doing?
And-
Usually we go like our lights are on through typically February on the common. That's usually when we take ours off, and that's when we pivot and say, all right, who else still has lights on? So that's like the end bookmark, sort of like what's appropriate. And that's when we followed up with we've been following up on the holiday light in that location. So I think there's still a holiday tree light
There is one at
on the
Pocket.
pocket park. That would have been excellent.
I'll just mention that the Lux sign was specifically out of our last ECTC meeting. So if you think you're not being heard, you are.
Okay.
I'm just looking at Kevin's list, and he's got like 10 things to go through. So I'm going to move you on because it's 10 past 6.
You have 10 things actually.
I know.
added
A lot of great things. A lot of great things. So Petco building.
So I don't know if everyone's aware, but there's 2 tenants potentially going into that space. Both are, I'd say, I refer to them as startup companies, startup businesses, which, could be hopefully super successful, and we'll surround them with support. But I think there's a little bit larger learning curve associated with navigating being a startup business anywhere. And Topsfield going through the permitting process too. It's unique. So I know I've been building a relationship since Petco left with Joe, the owner. He's excited for these 2 tenants, one of which is a sensory space for children with autism. And the other, I met with that tenant as well. He came in, we had a conversation. He's very excited. Fingers crossed the finances are there and the project can be successful. Definitely it's a new business, right? So there's a lot. He has to make significant investments, and then he also needs to bring the business to town. So I've told him we'll do everything we can to support you. You're investing in our community. We'll make the investment in our time and support to see whatever we can do to support you and keep you here. The other one is actually the former Richdale's in Wenham. Second time referenced that tonight. He after many years of being at the convenience store there, he no longer had a lease, and talked with Joe about opening up a convenience store at Petco. Convenience stores are not allowed on Route 1. So he came back with a concept for a market, which I said, spent a lot of time with him saying, a market isn't just switching the name of the sign. It is actually being a true market, like a Crosby's or a Henry's is the intent. And I said, just make sure, because if you build a convenience store, even if you get the special permit for a market, if you build a convenience store, you won't be able to operate. And so he partnered with Mike, who, this is his words, his meat guy, who is basically providing him with like cold cuts and things like that so they can make prepared sandwiches. And they seem to be partnering, and that's going to be one of the components of it, which is great to see. Like that's, he heard us. Like I said, you can't just be sticking, cheese puffs and Diet Cokes and waters and whatever else we listed earlier on the shelves. And you got to have that. You got to make that effort to make it a market. The second piece is I said, this has been a pet. You're selling food and drink, and this has been a Petco for everybody. For most part, everybody remembers that space as being a Petco. You need to make an investment on the aesthetics, whether it's new awning, new windows, new paint. That investment's, I think, going to be a big driver on the success rate for that space, because if you basically just put new shelves in there, hang a new sign, I think it's going to be for people who know that building are going to walk in and think they're buying a sub from Petco, which I don't think is going to be necessarily the most attractive for people. So they seem very open to working with us in trying to, find out what they want to do and helping them sort of navigate what the town might respond well to so they can be successful as well. Our intent is not to tell them what to do, but to give them ideas on what we know of what we're trying to build and create, what's successful and has been successful and we think will be successful, to make sure that they have that information so they can make good business decisions. So that's where we're at with that one.
I'm just going to interject.
Maybe they should sell pet food and then they'll have it covered.
Right.
So
Sarah, what'd you have?
Kevin, is it going to be a convenience store or the sandwich counter?
Oh, no, we'll see. I think we have to give them some grace, and they've spent enough time here, and they've been willing to work with us in understanding what expectations are. And they're not going to fly under the radar, right? It's a pretty high profile location, and so if that's what they do, we'll address it. If it's by definition a market, great. I think that space could do really well. If you think about it, it's the first thing once you get off of the busy side of Route 1. You have to go all the way to Market Basket to find groceries.
Yeah.
If they do a real market where they have something like think Henry's or Crosby's, you're going to catch so many people who don't want to drive all the way to Market Basket on their way home from Boston at the end of a long day with work. They're going to pop in there, grab a quick prepared meal, whatever it might be, and then shoot home to feed the family, right? Also, to note, there is a market at 10 School Ave. So if that doesn't end up happening at that location, the same day, people could slide off Route 1, head South Main, go to the market at 10 School Ave, grab their prepared meals, and then head home or do takeout or whatever it might be. So we're going to be hopefully offering a few different options for the community. Different. They're unique. They complement each other, as long as Albert and Mike can deliver on, I think, what the expectations are.
Okay.
Just
What's
a
the
couple of
time
things
frame?
I'll add is I did attend the ZBA meeting for the old Petco building for both of those businesses, just to hear what they had to say. The Topsfield Fine Foods, to me, the way he described it is going to be supposed to be more like a Danvers butchery. So he's going to have and if this is the other thing I want to mention. If you ever want to know what's going on with any of the buildings, it's 2 clicks. Go into the Topsfield town website, go under ZBA, and on the left-hand side is filings. And if you click on that, you can see it. The top one right now is 10 School Ave. Then it's 239 Boston Street, which is this one. If you drill into those items, you can see the plans. So on the plans for the old Petco building, it shows there's a fish counter, there's a meat counter, there's supposed to be vegetables. So they're trying to market it, or at least selling it to us as like a Danvers butchery. That's what it seemed to me.
Which would be great. I think that would be a big check mark on some of the things that in conversations and through surveys that we've heard from people is having a market somewhere in town for people to do that. Now people like the idea of it. We just need to make sure people in town go.
Right.
I mean, that's,
Perfect location, but the location
is.
is
Perfect, yeah.
perfect.
It
What's the-
absolutely
what's the
Parking there and
timeline?
everything, right? Yeah.
When would they do this?
So they received their special permits for both spaces. They had to go to ZBA and they received them the same night. And I actually have not heard from them from a little while and I haven't seen any activity. So I couldn't tell you, Tom, where they are in their process, but I think part of that is too that they're, again, startups. So I think they're trying to figure it out on their end as well. But they did say they were going to stay in. They did reach out. The market asked about a liquor license and how to get a liquor license. So that was a few weeks ago plus. So
Oh, at least. I was just gonna see if I can find out when they went to ZBA. That ZBA meeting must have been easily January,
Yeah.
if not December.
I don't think we have building permits, but I don't want to say that definitively. I don't think we have received them. If they have, and we've issued it, which is entirely possible. I don't believe they've started work, but that doesn't mean anything other than a contractor isn't scheduled to start work. I just don't know where they are with it, but it's exciting. It's a high profile vacant space. And I think that if done well, these two spaces can complement each other and also complement all of the things that we're doing around economic development and meet a need if done well. So fingers crossed, like I said, we're going to do everything we can to support them and hopefully they can deliver. Switching gears outside of projects, there's two positions in the town I mentioned, I think, at the last meeting. It's the rec director and communications positions. Rec director, I have somebody who I think is going to be phenomenal for it that has indicated interest. I think we've posted that position or we're about to post that position. So we hope to have that position filled in the coming weeks, which is important because people are starting to call about getting their permits for field use, Sarah. Just give us a couple more. We're almost there.
That's all right. We're just not going to pay anything until,
Fair. That's fair. And then the other one, like I said, is communications position. We had unbelievable. We did not put it out in a lot of places. And through word of mouth and in general, just people going to the website. We had, I'd say 4 phenomenal people, very qualified, if not overqualified for the position apply. We're down to 2 finalists on that. And I'm doing second interviews tomorrow with them. Either can do the job really well. It's just going to come down to what's the right fit and what they're going to deliver from a social media and videos and things of that nature. So we're in a great space. The town is in that regard. We're excited for those positions for sure.
Can I ask a question about that real
Easily.
quick?
Sure, of course.
I know there's been updates to the website. Is it almost ready for the town website to be updated?
So I met with Stephanie Bellotti, I think last week or the week before. She's running that program. She's going to keep running that program even after we bring the communications person on for a period of time during the transition. I think she was targeting mid-March, but she really wants to get to all the department heads and their staff before we roll it, obviously, so they can do all the things they need to do on their end. I think we're looking probably now maybe closer to the end of the month. We've got town meeting coming up too. Part of me says we might want to, if we can, just delay. Zil, you have one of those cameras too. I don't know. You just moved look good.
I literally moved my computer.
Kevin.
But I don't
I'm
have any
just
high tech.
excited when you guys are moving your
What
cameras.
is he talking
So
about?
excited. So
Kevin,
excited.
what are you talking about? Maybe you have vertigo.
Shiny thing.
Maybe
Kevin,
you
look
have vertigo, Kevin.
I think it's a case of, oh, look, a squirrel.
Squirrel. So to that end, I think it might make sense to wait till possibly even after town meeting at this point. I got to talk with Stephanie because I would hate to transition and then drop a bunch of information as we go into sort of our Super Bowl of town activities. This is when people seem to pick their head up and ask questions and participate, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know, Zilly, exactly when, but I'm going to circle back with Stephanie. I
But
know
that
she's not going
person,
to launch till we
like
talk.
that, when you mentioned that communications person, like they'll have that skill set too. I guess that's what I was.
They'll have to. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just repetition. It's education and repetition. And I think people, and their job's not necessarily to post everything. Their job is to share the information, support the departments and others who are posting. And then if somebody just is in a jam and they need help, then we'll step up and help. But that's sort of the intent of the position.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest problem right now as far as communications goes with the website is that when you sign up for town news, you don't get those emails.
Yeah, so that's why we're transitioning is because we're no longer fully supported by, and that's, so we're one of the, kind of proud of this. All the other towns spent a lot of money before us to update their website, and we kept holding back saying, no, we like it, we're fine. And they wanted to charge us 20 grand, then 15 grand, then 10 grand. Then we agreed $4,500 and for the transition because they were like, we're sick of supporting Topsfield. You're the last one. It costs us money to do this. We'll just cut you a sweet deal. So, kind of proud of that. I'm not gonna lie. Select board's here in the room, so I'm just gonna mention that out loud. But now we're going through that transition.
All right, thanks.
I'm gonna do a shout out to our Newburyport Chamber representative here on the ECDC at Topsfield, Tom Rosa. I'm excited to be joining Tom on April 7th for the Newburyport Chamber legislative dinner. And I've been asked by Tom to be one of the handful of panelists and speakers for the event. I was able to join them last year. Had a great time. I love talking about Topsfield and the work we're doing. And honestly, it's fun because we're doing some really cool things. And I appreciate the other towns around us and the state support and things they share, but we got a really great story to tell. And I do believe with that story can hopefully get people excited about what we're up to, whether it's them investing in our community or just coming and visiting, spending their funds here and enjoying their time with us. And I thought it went really well last year. Very honored to be asked back for this year. And I think it's gonna be a great event. So thank you, Tom, for that. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll send everybody the link just to kind of fill in all the gaps there. But yeah, you made a huge impact last year. We also had Kevin in to talk to the EDAC committee, the Economic Development Committee of the chamber. You and Michelle did that together, and it was funny.
Good.
After that, I mean, we were getting calls from people saying, "I never knew this was going on in Topsfield. I never, So it's a great opportunity. So I'll send everybody the link if you want to come. That'd be great.
5 minutes.
It'd be great, Tom. Thank you. All right. So I want to just mention this to everybody. There's big picture. I just want to say this out loud. Doesn't necessarily tie directly to what we do, but I want to make sure you're all aware of this. So after the last time the town asked for an override in our budget at town meeting was 2011. And we've done an incredible job, my team, the select board, in finding creative ways to basically generate new revenue, like the ambulance services, or to cut our expenses by reorganizing different departments and making sure we have the most efficient lineup of teammates so that we can deliver the best possible services, but make sure it's fits well, it's appropriate. And we've cut our budget every single year to try to balance. And we've made sacrifices and we've kept things flat. But as we know, we are held this year to 2.7% increase as an example, and that's pretty similar in years past of increases. And we haven't been able to make certain investments within our organization and our team as a result of that. And so this year, after almost $1 million increases, 46% increase over 3 years on health insurance, it's $1 million. Like, that's a big number in a budget. Like what we have, our budget's like a little under 10 million. That's a big number. And then our pension costs have gone almost to $300,000 the last 3 years as well. Trash we've fixed the increases on trash with our new contract with Mello, which is great. And again, generated a little bit more revenue off of it. So we can take everything in one sidebar and walk everyone through how great the program is. Thank you, Zilly. But the reality is we're at that point where we're going to be asking likely for an override this year at town meeting. And there's the people cost, but it's also with doing this, it'll allow us to also add a halftime planner into our operating budget. Something we've been advocating for since I've been here. No agenda on my end. It's, one of my jobs is to look at it from a business standpoint and from an operator standpoint, say, well, what is our biggest exposures, liabilities? Where are we not being efficient? Where can we, if we invest in this, where can we find potentially more revenue through grants or more investment in our community, right size investments, of course. And we've been unable to do it for many reasons. I'll just leave it at that. But this year we are committed. The select board spent a great amount of time discussing this over a number of months. They voted 5-0 to maintain the 15-hour admin, which exists already. But in addition to that, add a 19-hour planner to provide the technical expertise that every other town that's like size to Topsfield and larger provides to their organization, as well as to the town, as also to the boards, the planning board and ZBA. Every town, Essex, West Newbury, are 1 FTs at minimum, all the way up to Hamilton and Boxford, which have 2 FTs. That's full-time equivalent. Some of them have 3 employees, 4 employees, but they're part-time. Some of them are part-time. We have currently one 15-hour position right now that's split between 2 boards. So it's 7.5 hours for 2 boards. It's not enough. And fortunately, we had someone in that role that's very quick study in her last 3 years. Lynn Bermudez did an amazing job filling the gap and doing the best she could, not being a planner. But we've seen it time and time again that there's such a need for that when it comes to helping facilitate somebody who comes in looking to do a project, helping us implement the master plan. Zilly, thank you for your help on that, and Tom and others. And anything from, if you go right now, for example, you go on our zoning website for zoning bylaws, you have to search by PDF. It's like, look, it's so antiquated. It's like we haven't been able to address that in the last 5 years because we haven't had the resources to do it. So we're asking for a 19-hour support. I think the finance committee's firmly behind that. I know the select board is. I know my staff is, like, finally. It's not like they're excited or having a celebration that we're doing it. It's more like, oh, thank goodness, we're exhausted. It's time to get some reinforcements. And I know the people I've talked with, businesses or entrepreneurs who've invested recently, I've had conversations and they said it's absolutely what you guys need. It's the biggest gap at the town, and it sometimes has created some issues. So we're making the investment. It's probably one of the most important things we can do. And I want to make sure I mention this to the ECDC because, Pocket Park, we made it happen. The restaurant downtown, we're making it happen. Alfalfa Farm, we worked with them so closely, but there's so much more we can do. And, it's really important. And I hope we can, if any of you have any questions related to the position or the budget for that matter, because it's part of the whole, right? It's a small piece of the whole, but it's a piece of the whole. Pensions and insurance are the biggest drivers. But, I want to make sure that this committee, more than anyone else besides the select board and finance committee, is fully understanding what we're doing. And I, want to make sure if you have any questions at all, if you want to support it and understand it, or you don't support it, but you want to ask more questions, please come see me. I'd love to sit down and show you the data behind this and show you what's possible if we make this investment. It's really important we do this. And this is the year. We've talked about it for about 3 of the last 6 years that I've been here. And this is the year. We're going for it. So, I don't know if anyone's any
I was
questions.
just gonna say, just a plug for tomorrow night, we have the budget open house, so that's another opportunity if anyone wants to come in and ask questions on the budget.
I have one quick question. So
yeah.
long story short, so just look at it this way. What is one thing you think we could do, Kevin, to quote, lower property taxes? Because I support these programs and I think all the residents support these programs. But people here are affluent, they can afford to house, they can afford the taxes, but I'm just looking at it as a basic person. What is one thing, it may not be that easy, but what is one thing we could do to help lower the property taxes?
There's 2.
Okay, what are they?
One is I cut staff and deliver less services.
Okay, I get it. All right.
2, we make the investments to help promote smart growth and economic development. Because every time somebody makes an investment so go back to 10 School Ave. We've never, Leslie asked a very good question and I answered her with, yes, it's 25,000 in revenue for the building, but we're also seeing we'll see meals taxes, property taxes, things we've never seen off that. That directly adds to our revenue side of our budget.
Okay. Which
allows us to grow when our growth of our budget can only stay at Prop 2.5%. And the reality is what in your businesses stays at 2.5% over the last 14 years, 15 years? every year, right? Like that,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
just costs go
Yeah.
up. I mean, that's what
Right.
happens. And it's usually greater than 2.5. So, we wear a badge of honor that we haven't had to ask for any additional funds. But this year, the health insurance and the pensions it's been a tidal wave. And we found ways last year with 18.5% increase in health insurance. We found a way to get there and balance, but I cut everything on the budget to the point where we're down. As the FinCom has said, Dave Larson on the FinCom has said it publicly, so I'll repeat it. We cut them down to the bare bones of their budget. There's nothing left to cut. And so we really don't have anything left to cut, Tom, that first one. But the second is the only other way besides asking for more money is new growth. And that's where the planner
increase other things to offset that. Is that what you're
and
saying?
that's the commercial, if getting the restaurant, Alfalfa Farm,
Yep.
he's investing $3 million. That's an improvement to the property that we'll be able to tax at a higher rate.
Okay.
And those are small. They're not going to, those in and of themselves is not going to create any significant reduction in how much your taxes go up every year. But in aggregate, if we keep doing this, it helps. And it allows us another way to bring amenities to the community that the communities told us they want. And second, it allows us to offset some of those costs that we have that ultimately is borne on the taxpayer. So, I hope that's a good answer.
Yes,
There's a lot there.
Well,
We can
I'm
spend a
not
while on
representing
it.
the whole- I'm not representing every resident, but as well as I do, that's what the talk is about usually. And I just figured, I'm not this high finance guru, but I figured I would ask to see if there's
Great question.
That's all. But thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked because people don't ask those questions, Tom. Sorry, Liz, I see. I'll call you in one sec. People don't ask the question. They go on to social media or they mumble to their neighbors while they're taking the trash out. That's why we're doing the open house tomorrow. That's why my door's open. I'm not here 365 days a year.
Close.
Maybe 340, but my door's open. People can walk in anytime. And if I'm not with a lawyer or in the middle of negotiations, I usually step out and have a conversation and say, "Hi, I'm Kevin." And then if they really want to talk more about something, we'll set up a time, we do it. So I love, Tom, those questions. They're not tough questions for us because we know what we're doing. We understand where the levers are. And we've worked so hard to avoid overrides on the town side. But it's the reality of where we are this year because of the uncontrollable mass general law mandated costs of health insurance and pensions. That's really the biggest drivers. But we did, to be completely transparent, there is the planner position. There's also, we've adjusted the fire department budget so that we're reallocating some of the funds to offset the cost of an additional full-time firefighter. But the net cost of the town's probably going to be somewhere around $25,000-$30,000 at the end of the day for a full-time firefighter, which is going to get us tremendous amount of value in making sure that we can do inspections for the businesses. This is why I'm tying it back. Like right now, we've got 2 guys on. Call comes in while they're doing inspection. See you next week, guys. And that person doesn't get his inspection. They have to go on a call.
That kind of stuff we can skimp on. You're right. I understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now we're getting the investment to have
No, it's okay.
a third person on during the busy time, data-driven analysis. When's the time people call? 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. People are out doing stuff. They get in car accidents. They cut their fingers, whatever. They call us for help. And that's when we do our inspections. So to make that investment,
Recording
to
stopped.
reprioritize our,
Stop recording you.
I think they're there.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
Is that our
I
recording?
didn't know that was ours. Yeah.
Okay. So we have
Shuts
to,
down at 6:35.
I'll give you my notes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the long story short is that, we're making investments, even the fire department one, like when we talk about the fire department at town meeting, if that comes up, I don't know if it will, but it's something that's going to be articulated, I'm sure at some point, and maybe discussed, maybe not, but there's economic development to that too. Like getting out there and finish our inspections and having people there for the second call, talk about revenue, Tom. We give up on the second call when it comes in while they're out making a run for an hour and a half. Second call comes in, we're calling Danvers or Mutual Aid or somebody else to come in. If we have a person here, they can respond to it and potentially transfer that second person. We're estimating $25,000 to $50,000 in more revenue from having that third shift on. We're not underwriting that until we prove it out, but we know that there's going to be more revenue coming in. But that $25,000, $30,000 number I said of the net cost to bring a firefighter on, that doesn't include it could pay for itself. I'm just not going to commit to that until it proves it out. So.
All right. So we're 5 minutes over already, and we have select board at 7:00, and I have my dinner sitting right here for me to eat.
Leslie had one question.
Yeah, I was going to say Leslie's question, and then we'll wrap it up.
So you're talking about bringing in a halftime planner, $19 an hour, so we don't have to pay benefits, right?
No benefits.
But rumor has it that planner is going to cost us $120,000 for 19 hours of work a week.
I don't know where you got that number. It's 30, it's $25,000 net cost.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's in the line item is 39,000, but we were able to reduce the planning and zoning budgets because have stipends we've given people to do odds and ends because we didn't have the people to do it. So now I can take those stipends back and offset the cost for the planner position. Yeah, I don't know where that rumor is, but we gotta nip that in the bud. It's $39,000 all in. And that's the gross cost. The net cost is 25.
Okay, very good.
Awesome. All right, this is a great meeting. Thank you for all those updates. We do have a lot of great things going on
I
and
have more.
I know you have more. We could hit this meeting can go on for 2 hours. So the next time we'll see each other is April 2nd. Everyone on this call can make that so far, right? Awesome. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
I'm so moved.
Kevin, thank you. Okay, roll call. Tom Capano.
Aye.
I got you. You seconded.
I think someone has to second my so
Oh, I
moved.
thought you were.
I just moved what you said.
I said I make a motion to adjourn.
Did you most? I second then. Sorry.
That's what I.
My
Can I just ask a quick question? You said the next meeting was April 2nd. That's the business social,
Yes, the next time that we'll see each other is at the business social on April 2nd.
right? But that's not a published meeting or,
No, that's not a published meeting. That's just our, thank
okay,
you for clarifying that. That's just the business social.
okay.
All right, so I made the motion. Kevin seconded the motion. So Tom Capano,
Aye, again, aye.
sorry.
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Leslie,
Aye.
Tom, Rosa,
Hi.
Lily Bouchou,
You got it.
Shel Mercier Lake is an aye, and Kevin Haratunian.
Aye.
Thank you. All right.
Kevin having to vote.
I know. Motion is adjourned. Thank you so much.